morning, everyone. Please feel free to spread out. We're a couple minutes after, and looks like we have a good bit of space this morning. So if you need more space, go right ahead. Shift around. Also want you to take a quick peek around. You'll notice I just grabbed some chairs. I might use those today just because we had the extra space. And I may use the wall a little bit as well. So just kind of look around and see where your closest chair is for a little bit later. But we're going to start standing. Let's go ahead and pick up the toes, get a bit of a grip on the mat there. Let's take a few minutes just to kind of settle into the space. It's going to be a little bit challenging to focus on the body today, to focus on the breath. It's starting to pick up for open enrollment here. So use that as part of your practice. That's what yoga is, learning to kind of see beyond all of that. Be able to kind of tune it out. Just to take a peek at where you are today. You might rest your eyes, or maybe a light gaze, something in front of you. But just kind of put those distractions aside, put the morning aside, put the afternoon aside. Go ahead and start scanning the body, looking for what's there today. Where are you in debt on Saturday morning for a busy week? We're going to try to make some deposits there. Like a bank account where you're gonna make some deposits toward your health, wellness, flexibility, strength. Any tension, any pain. Any stress, just go ahead and bookmark it, keep an eye on it. And shifting to that headspace, what's that focus like right now with the distractions? About that stress in the head, that emotional stuff, that mental stuff. Just notice it. We're all human. More alike than we're different. What's the breath like now? To hold it. Maybe it's a little shallow. Maybe it's a bit relaxed. Let's go ahead and start to grow the breath a little. Let's give the shoulders a roll up, back, and down. Let's tuck the tailbone, soften the knees, grip with the toes. Arms down by the sides, fingers reaching toward the floor. Get a big of that bigger breath going, activating those muscles that surround the spine, making that neck a little longer. Let's make sure that tailbone is directed toward the floor. Just a couple more big breaths right here. On your next exhale, we're going to start to turn the head and we're just going to look toward the left. You don't have to open your eyes here, but exhaling, just turning the head, finding that first point of resistance. Keeping that neck long. Let's inhale, bringing that head back to center. Let's go big inhale, and on the next exhale, we're going to look toward the right. Slowly moving, noticing the journey, the process. And a big breath there as a deposit. Soften those knees. Next inhale, we're going to face the center again here. Just growing tall here. Once again, we're going to start to take the arms all the way up and take them into like a touchdown type posture here. But just slowly moving them up, looking for that first point of resistance. Maybe it's in the shoulders. Maybe the body starts to lock out. But finding that resistance, breathing into it. Let's take those arms down by the side again. Reaching those fingertips toward the floor. Tuck that tailbone, direct it toward the floor, soften the knees, grip with the toes. Let's take those hands up once more to a touchdown here. Reaching for the ceiling, relaxing the shoulders. Last big breath right there. And then let's take them back down. We're going to send them behind the back. We're going to grab the wrists here. May have to adjust that tailbone. Might find you're able to start walking those fingers in the direction of the elbows. Primary movement here. Shoulders are back. Send some good breath directly to those shoulders. Keeping your hands right there. Next exhale, let's hinge forward. Let's go ahead and get a good extension on that spine. Pulling the sit bones back, pulling the crown of the head forward. Want to keep a nice tabletop back here. Grip with those toes. Next, inhale. Let's inhale that strong spine right back up to center. And let's release the arms behind. Let's take them in front. Let's clasp the hands. We're going to send the knuckles toward the wall the shoulder blades toward the wall behind. Sending breath through that space you just created there. Check in with that lower and middle back. You want to keep that nice and straight. And all the stretch here in that upper back. Last big breath here. Let's take the hands, let's turn them inside out. Palms pulling toward the wall in front, shoulder blades pulling back. Just a couple breaths there. Let's take those hands slowly up toward the ceiling. Soften the knees, tuck the tailbone. Relax the shoulders. And send some of those big breaths all the way down the spine, through the shoulders. One more here. And then let's gently release those hands. Let's send them behind the back, clasp the palms. Knuckles in the direction of the floor, crown of the head pulling away from those knuckles. Once again, primary movement, shoulders back. Last big breath here. And let's release those hands. Let's go ahead and do a balancing one here. You're welcome to be on your mat, the carpet, or the hard floor if you prefer. But just kind of walk toward the back of the mat there. Notice how that center of gravity is here when you're on both feet. Weights evenly distributed, front to back, side to side. We're going to take a step forward with the right foot. We're going to grip with the toes, project out of the hip. And we're going to start to bring this left foot out in front. Doesn't matter how high that foot is. All going to be different here. Find that place where you can feel that ankle wobbling. Let's bring that knee up to that left hand. Slow movement. Extending the right arm out. Palm facing forward. Maybe guiding that left knee over to the side. Let's keep that right hip nice and long. Even though it makes it harder, that's where the strength comes in. Let's bring that knee forward once more. Let's switch to the right hand, extending the left. You're doing great, you're doing great. Maybe crossing it over to the right. Let's bring it forward. Let's bring it down to the ground. Give those hips a really good shake. Let's give them a break. That was great. Just saying, just so you know. We're going to give it a break. We're going to point the right toe back. Send some big breaths right down to the front of that ankle. Might feel it in the shin. Cramping would be way past the body's boundary, so if any cramps start to set in, go ahead and scale back or out. Let's bring that right foot back. Meet the left. Let's send the left back, toe pointed. Check in with those right toes. Are they gripping there? What's going on with the hip? Are you collapsing it? Go ahead and straighten everything out. And we'll go ahead and we'll bring that left foot back to meet the right. And we'll take a couple steps back on the mat again. That first side's in the past, all over. So whether you thought you were great or maybe not so great, you can expect a little bit different here. Find that center of gravity, front to back, side to side. This time, when you're ready, we'll take a step forward with that left foot. We'll grip with the toes, project out of that left hip. We'll bring the right foot up. And we'll find that place outside of the comfort zone. That's where growth lives. Making deposits here. Foot comes down, just set yourself back up. We'll go right hand to the top of that right knee. Left hand extends out, palm forward. Maybe guiding that right leg to the side. What's going on with that left hip? Soften that left knee. Let's start to bring that right leg forward. Slow movements there. Left hand onto that onto that right knee. Right arm extending out, palm forward. Maybe guiding to the left.
November, I think it's on there too now.
Let's take that knee forward, bring it back to the floor. Let's get a good stretch there. Should have, I put some chairs out, but I'm going to give a couple options here. If a chair is accessible where you can just easily move to the back of the chair, go ahead and do that. If there's not a chair ready there, just go over to the wall. Go over to the wall for a minute. And I'll demo both ways here. Yeah, the bigger one. All right, let's take both hands to the back of the chair or the wall is good. We're going to stand tall here. Let's pull the shoulders down and away from the ears with the hands on the back of the chair or the wall. You're going to start to walk your feet back.
Is Christine here? Not today. She's back on Monday.
You're going to pull the sit bones in one direction. And you're reaching those hands forward.
In 8630, so your Medicare RX plan was also through the end of this month. So the payments we do.
Send some big breaths right down that spine.
I have to type one up yet. We don't actually have this.
And when you're ready, let's slowly walk those feet back up.
I can get it. I have already have one open.
Let's use the chair as a way to balance here. We're going to start to lift our heels off the floor. Don't have to go to tippy toes. Don't have to go as far as you can. need a little strength or a little more balance, you can take your hands from the chair and you can bring them palms together, center of the chest. Find that place where the ankles are wobbly. Let's go, hands back to the chair, maybe lifting those heels just a little higher, getting that stretch. Exhaling, let's bring the heels down. We're going to use the chair for one more here. Let's go left hand to the back of that chair. So you're going to take your right hand away from the chair, just the left is here. We're going to see if we can send that right arm around, and we're going to bend the right knee, and we're going to reach for the top of the right foot. There you go. Going to check in right there. If there's space there, you might start to send that right knee back. Breathing big right there. Let's send that right shoulder back. What's going on with that left hip? Let's straighten it up a bit. Last breath here. And let's bring that right foot back to the floor. Might need to give those hips a good shake. And let's go right hand to the back of that chair this time. Just resetting here. Going to take the left hand, we're going to circle it, big loop there. We're going to reach for the top of that left foot. What's different on this side? Check in with that right hip. Maybe send that left knee back. Maybe opening up that left shoulder. Finding your depth today. Finding your depth the right way. Good deposit right here. Last breath here. And then let's bring that knee back down. Bringing that left foot down. Give those hips a good shake if you need it. Let's return to the mat. You can leave the chairs as they are right now in case we use them again. I want you to reach down and grab your strap.
Thank you very much. No, that'll be all. Thank you.
Give yourself a good bit of room here. I've just got mine folded once. But my feet are about hip width. Toes are gripping the mat. Knees are soft. Tailbones pointed in the direction of the floor here. I'm going to take the strap to my right hand. I'm going to send it over that right shoulder. I'm going to have to adjust here again. My tailbone automatically kicked out. I'm going to redirect it. I'm going to send the left hand, reaching for that strap there. Adjusting that stance again. And you might find you have some space to start inching that left hand up the strap. Primary movement here, shoulders are back. If you lose the breath, or if the body starts to lock up, you're going to scale back. Relax that jaw. Last big breath on this side. And let's gently release. Just give those shoulders a few rolls forward. A few rolls back. Resting there at center. Let's switch the strap to the left hand. Brand new side. Let's not autopilot it. We're going to send that strap over the left shoulder this time. Just kind of let it hang. Going to reach around with that right hand. Redirect that tailbone toward the floor. Send those shoulders back. Maybe inching up on that strap to the appropriate depth today. Not judging, just noticing. Maybe this is one of those places that needs a deposit. Last big breath here. And let's go ahead and release that strap. Let's bring it to the front. Let's go a bit wide here. And let's send those hands up toward the sky. Finding your depth here. Hands might be a little further apart. They might be a bit closer. Thinking about where your body needs it. And let's go ahead and bring those forward. Let's send the strap behind. Knuckles toward the ceiling. Exhaling and gently lifting behind. Last breath here. And let's gently bring that back down. Go ahead and drop that strap off to the side here. We're going to start to transition. We're going to transition in just a minute down to the floor. But go ahead and have a seat on that chair first. You might have to turn it around. Get a couple stretches for here. These are always good for those of you who work a lot and need to get some of those stretches in whenever you can at work. We're going to take the right ankle and we're going to cross it right over the left knee. If there's any sensation here, any pulling, tugging, anything going on in that knee, you're going to start to scoot the toes out until that pressure is gone. You don't want anything more than mild sensation in that knee. We're going to go hands to the front of the shins here. We're going to inhale big. We're going to exhale and maybe hinge forward over this right leg. Find an appropriate depth here. We do this one. It's just like having the legs crossed on the floor. only it's one at a time here. It's more accessible for those of you who work a lot. Let's inhale right back up to center here. We're going to take that right foot, we're going to stay right here. And we're going to, my toes are really short, so this isn't easy for me, but, and you don't, if you're wearing socks, you don't have to take your socks off, but you can take your fingers and thread them between the toes, or those of you wearing socks, or that have short toes like mine, you're going to stabilize the foot with that right hand, and you're going to circle the toes around. Keep circling those around. You're trying not to move the entire foot. Just trying to get some movement with the toes. Let's go the other direction. Now let's take the right hand and let's go to kind of that heel area. If your fingers are between your toes, we're going to take that hand a little bit further down the foot, kind of to the middle of the sole of the foot. Might start seeing if you can get a little bit of movement there. Turning it one direction, the other, and trying to keep that heel stable. Maybe turning the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Toward the floor. And then using both thumbs just to move things around in there. Don't usually tend to. Getting some circulation. Now let's cross that right leg over the left. We're going to take the right hand behind here. Left hand is going to go outside this right knee. That hand's kind of upward on the chair, just anywhere back there is okay. Pulling the shoulders down. Inhale, extending tall. Exhaling, twisting toward the right. Only twisting as far as you can maintain that straight spine. Do this one at work when you're at work. A few good breaths. Let's gently unwind from right there. Let's go ahead and uncross that right foot. Now let's bring that left ankle right above that right knee. Might already feel very different here. Anything pulling or tugging, go ahead and start to slowly inch those toes forward. Let's go hands to the front of the shins here. Big inhale, shoulders down. Exhaling, maybe finding a hinge forward. Sending big breaths. Crown of the head is reaching away from those sit bones. Let's inhale that spine back up. Maybe threading the fingers between the toes. Stabilizing so the rest of the foot's not going to move all over the place. And then giving the toes some movement. direction and the other. Only so many things we can do to get circulation in those feet. Maybe moving that hand down to the heel, getting some movement in the center of the sole of that foot. Keeping that heel from moving, just moving the rest of the foot there. And then thumbs and hands. Working there, maybe sending the sole of the foot toward the ceiling, to the floor. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and we'll cross this left leg now, right over that right. We'll send the left hand back. We'll go right hand right outside this left knee. Extend tall. Exhaling, twisting toward the left. Following with your gaze there. Couple more big breaths right here. And let's gently unwind back to center. Let's uncross that left leg. We're going to get one more in right here, but the feet are right in front. We're going to go hands to the front of the thighs here. We're going to extend tall. Exhaling, we're going to hinge forward right here. Maybe applying a little pressure to the legs to get more of an extension. Those of you working all day, starting to get back pain, neck pain, use these as go-tos. And let's inhale right back up. Let's go back to the mat. We'll just leave the chairs at, wherever they are now. Unless it's totally in your way, you can scoot it over a little, but let's make sure we keep an aisle here. Let's go hands to the front of the thighs. Tuck that tailbone. One good breath standing tall here. And then we're going to start to slide those hands down the front of the thighs. We're going to go into a dead hang briefly. Heavy torso here. Maybe grab elbows, sway side to side, shift the weight, toes and heels, and when you're ready, go ahead and bend those knees, hands to the mat, fingers wide, actively gripping, walk the feet back, hips are moving in the direction of the ceiling. Chest is moving toward the front of the thighs. Back of the thighs are moving toward the wall behind you. Heels are moving in the direction of the floor. Gaze is between your feet. Might go ahead and pedal out right there. And when you're ready, we're going to start to shift that weight forward. Some of you are going to be lowering yourselves down gently, bringing one knee down at a time. Some of you, if you need a little bit more of the strength, you can just start to slowly bend those arms, bringing the belly and the chest down. Let's one cheek on the mat here. Let's go. Arms down by the sides. Palms facing the ceiling. And when you're ready, on an exhale, we're going to see if we can lift our head from the floor and our feet. Toes are pointed back. Crown of the head is pulling in the opposite direction. Notice what shifts around if you take those arms out front, like Superman. Last breath here. And let's bring that chest right down to the mat. Just relaxing here, just being a little heavy, taking a break. Let's switch to the other cheek here. Notice if anything's different. And we're going to we're going to shift on to our right side. This is going to be a new one, so we're going to experiment with it. I might be a little awkward. But we're going to go onto that right side. And we're going to have the right forearm down to the mat, fingers pointed toward the long end. Right hand is going to be somewhere near the body here. Now let's go ahead and bend that right knee to start. So that right leg that's beneath, you're going to bend it. On an exhale, got to see if you can start to lift that right hip from the floor. You've got that knee to steady you there. Pressing down with that right arm. If you need a little more, you can send that right foot down to meet the left. Lifting those hips from the floor. Couple breaths right there. If anyone's right here, you might extend that left hand. When you're ready, let's bring that right hip down. And let's go all the way down onto that right side. We're going to bring the knees as close to the chest as they're going to have it here. Not going to switch to the other side yet. We're going to go right hand to the top of that left knee. Just going to securing the legs down. We're going to inhale, reaching toward the sky with the fingertips, projecting out of that left shoulder. We're going to exhale, sending that left hand down and back. Just going to let it dangle there. Don't force it to the floor. Let the power of the big breath send it closer to the floor. Need a little more, you can extend that bottom leg. Try to relax that jaw. Relax that right shoulder. Relax that left shoulder. Relax that belly. Relax that rib cage. And if you straightened that bottom leg, that right one, let's go ahead and bring it back to meet the left. And let's slowly bring that left hand back around. Let's roll onto our back here, bringing one knee up at a time. Might have to shimmy a bit on the mat. But let's go, let's circle the knees one direction. Try to make those legs dead weight using the strength of your arms. Let's reverse that direction. And then let's bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat. And let's roll onto that left side. We're going to bring that left arm back so that we are forearm and hand again. Going through one more step before we go into that twist. Going to use the strength of that left forearm and hand. We're going to bend that left knee first. Just kind of testing our strength there, looking for that boundary with a new posture. We're going to use the strength of that left arm. Maybe a little bit from that right foot. We're going to see if we can lift that left hip from the floor. Need a little more. We're going to straighten that left foot. Pressing down onto the mat with that forearm and fingers. Maybe reaching up with those right fingers. Just a couple more breaths right there. Remember, you can bring that knee down at any time if it's lifted. Let's go ahead and slowly bring that left hip back down. Let's go all the way onto that left side. Let's bring the knees as close to the chest as they're going to go. Left hand on top of that right knee. Inhaling, right fingertips toward the sky. Reaching out of that right shoulder. Exhaling, sending that right arm down and back. What's tensed up here? Can you relax it? Might give you a little more depth. Need more depth? You could straighten that bottom leg. Let those big breaths do the work here. Don't lose them now. Just a couple more big breaths right here. And then we're slowly going to bring that right arm back around, bending that left knee as well if it was straight with the knee. We're going to bring one knee up at a time as we roll onto our backs. this time, we're going to send the soles of the feet in the direction of the ceiling. We're going to reach around and we're going to grab the outsides of the feet with our hands. And we're going to try to pull our knees in the direction of our rib cage. Notice how that lower back feels on the floor right now. Notice how strong it feels right now. Last breath right here. Let's bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and let's just let the knees fall out to the sides. Let's take the arms wide into a T, palms facing the ceiling. Keep those big breaths going.
I did get the things, for that lady.
Allow those hips to relax a little, and it'll do wonders for that lower back. Let's take the soles of the feet back to the mat. I want you to reach, see if you can grab your strap from where you are. I'm going to come around in case you can. Stay on your back right here. You're going to take the strap. Got one that's all tangled up, but you're going to take the strap to the sole of the right foot. So about the center of that right foot. The left sole of the left foot is still on the mat. You control the slack on this strap, but you're going to start to guide the sole of that foot in the direction of the ceiling. Breathing big right here. You might extend that bottom leg. Lower back, meet floor. Need more depth, you can choke up on that strap a bit. One more big breath here. And let's slowly bring the sole of that right foot back down to the mat. And let's place the sole of the left foot. Let's place the sole of the left foot into that strap. Start with that right foot on the ground there. Send the sole of that foot in the direction of the ceiling. Then maybe extend that bottom leg. Keep breathing here. Body might relax a little. More depth. Just a couple more breaths on this side. And then we're we're going to slowly bring the sole of the left foot down. We're going to release that strap, put it off to the side. We're going to move into our final posture, walking both feet out. One of the hardest postures there is. Take a little bit of time here for some stillness. How are you different from when you started? Think of where you needed those deposits today. How the body feels now. How the headspace feels now. And the breath. Let the breath do what it's going to do naturally now. Think about some of those trickier things that came up today too. How you handled those. Disruptions, distractions. And how you can use some of those skills moving forward. At your pace, you're eventually going to bring some of that intentionally soft and slow movement back. Considering what your body might need before you approach the day, even if it's a little bit more stillness.